Thanks for joining me here at the Crafty Cupboard. Today's project is all about this sweet little blossom forget-me-nots. So, grab some blue thread, yellow thread, green thread, and let's get started. You can see I've already started making my little forget-me-nots here, and I'm going to finish them with you now so you can see how to make them. The pattern is available for you to freely download in my video description box, and it also includes the pattern for the wild daisy and the wild rose and the daisy, which we've done in previous videos. So now I'm just using backstitch to stitch the swirl. I love adding little swirls to floral bouquets. They're easy to stitch, very relaxing to do, and they just add that little delicate touch. So with backstitch, we come up and then we go back towards the previous stitch. So we emerge here a little bit ahead, and now we take our thread back. So it's just a straight line of stitching, and it's really so versatile in all sorts of embroidery. So I really love doing embroideries where you've just got the picture outline and you can simply backstitch to get your image on the fabric. Here and there I just add a little straight stitch so that the little flower bud can be stitched on there later. So I've made these patterns free for you to download just to give you a bit of guidance. Of course, you're welcome to just draw on the fabric in the first place, but if you'd like a little bit of guidance, you can download my pattern and then trace. I simply use a lead pencil to trace my outline, and I keep it faint so that if it does differ a little from my stitches, then you won't notice it so much. It's a slow stitch after all, so we need to relax about what we're using. Just use the materials that you have at hand. There we are. Okay, now this is a new stitch for this little flower, and it's called a granito. So you can see where the petals go. I've just drawn a straight line, and a granito is a straight stitch, but then you come back out where you went in before. It's two straight stitches, but you're just putting them in and out the same hole, essentially. And then, to give it more fullness, I'm going to wrap a lazy daisy stitch around it. So come out, go in back at the base, emerge at the tip, and our thumb has held that thread down so that it can now be caught under. Okay, just like that, a nice full little petal. So it's a granito with a lazy daisy stitch wrapped around it. Shall we do another one together? So we just do a straight stitch. We do another straight stitch, but we're coming in and out the exact same hole as before. So those two little stitches sit side by side, but their ends taper off. And now let's do our lazy daisy stitch. So come out at the side of the stitches we've just done. Hold it down with our thumb. Go back in to the other side of the stitches. Emerge at the tip. And gently tug. One to go. Do you know, I first came across these, or my first memory of them was as a child. I lived in a tiny town, and it's one of those stories where I lived in a tiny little rural town and now a sort of city's emerged up around it. And I was walking around to my nan's house, which I could do unsupervised in our tiny town. Everyone knew one another. And the lady on the corner block near my nan was in a front garden tending to the plants. And she was kneeling down by these and she recited a poem to me. I can't remember her name, I can't remember her face, but I remember that moment of seeing these sweet little flowers and her reciting a verse that ended with the words, "Forget me not." And it stuck true. I have never forgotten that moment. There we go. So that's a really nice way to do sort of more solid petals. Now, French knot for the centre. So come out, wrap your thread around once, my finger hangs onto it, twice finger hangs onto it, 3 times finger hangs onto it. So it's a 3-wrap French knot to make it substantial. Stab it in to where we want it to go, hang on to the thread, pull our needle through. We want to hang on to that thread until nearly the last minute. And that gives us a nice neat French knot. You could also just stitch a bead here as well if French knots aren't your thing. More French knots for the blossoms. Now I'm going with pink because I just want a variance of colour. Strictly speaking, they're not really pink, but I think that it looks cute. So just a 1-wrap French knot for these, keeping them tiny. Do you know our cat, he lived till he was 17. He had a favourite spot in the garden underneath the jacaranda tree, and where he always laid in the garden, no plants would ever grow, you know. There was other agapanthus and other flowers, but there's this bare patch. Well, let me keep telling you about his forget-me-not patch while I'm stitching here. So he, when he passed away, we had let a local vet know because he was actually booked in to board with them while we went away. And then he passed away just before, so I had to ring and let them know. And they were so lovely and sweet. They sent a card to us that they all signed, everyone from the practice had signed. And keep in mind, we'd never used this vet before. We used a different vet. It was just that this vet had the boarding service. And so in the card was a packet of forget-me-not seeds. And I thought that is the most beautiful gesture. And I'm going to plant them in that bare patch of earth where he used to lay. And lo and behold, they've not come up. It's still a bare patch. It's like that's still his spot to lay in the sun. So let me tell you about what I've been stitching here while I was still telling you that story about the forget-me-nots for Cheeky Puss. Just doing, you know, some leaves here, and the leaves are quite sort of solid on a forget-me-not, so I'm doing them quite close together, and I am doing a fly stitch. So the fly stitch looks like the letter Y. I'll just go in here and then I'll explain it. I'm sure if you've watched my other videos, you've seen me talk about this many times before. One of my favourite stitches. Come out at the side, go in straight across to the other side. Don't pull your thread all the way. Emerge at the base of your last straight stitch. Now, give it a little tug and do a tiny straight stitch. Let's go again. So out at the side, hang on to it, straight across to the other side, emerge at the base. Tug it gently just to sit firm, and then a little straight stitch. So this is a series of fly stitches stacked upon one another to make a leaf. Very useful technique. Okay, our stem is just a series of backstitch to join the flower to the rest of the foliage. What do you think you might put your forget-me-not posy on? It's a very sweet little flower with a very lovely name. There we have. So there's our finished little patch, and we're going to pop it onto our slow stitching piece. So I have cut a doily apart and I'm just stitching it down now. So I did this earlier in the slow stitch formula series where I've just taken a corner out of a whole doily, and I'm using the corner on the top corner of my piece and the rest of the doily down the bottom. This time when I put my patch on, I didn't put it right in the center of my floral fabric. I've put it more towards the corner. I think it's really fun to experiment with different layouts and different uses of doilies on our slow stitch pieces, and over time you sort of build up a recipe, if you like, a formula for how to do things. That's exactly what my aim has been with this slow stitch formula series, to build up our little skills, our colour palettes, our different stitches to make different patches. Now I'm going to do a running stitch border. This is to stitch the calico patch down onto the fabric piece. If I was putting this on something, I would be putting it on the something with this stitching here right now as well. Like if it was a journal cover or a cushion cover or a patch on a jacket. So that's one way of doing a running stitch, just to gather it all up on your needle, in and out, in and out, in and out, and then pull. You want to make sure you don't pull too tightly, just firmly enough so it sits flat, like that. And then some more running stitch around the main floral fabric as well. So the way that I'm stitching at the moment is actually sashiko stitching, except that I'm not worrying so much about the length of the stitch nor the gap in between. So with sashiko stitching, we think about each length of stitch being the length of a grain of rice, keeping in mind Japanese rice is short grain. To tie off, I take a little stitch and then take the needle back through the loop that results. I do that again. I like to lose the end through another stitch before I cut it off. There we have it, our finished forget-me-not posy on a pretty floral patch. Thank you so much for joining me in the slow stitch formula. Here's our forget-me-not piece, and it can join all the others that we've already created. What a pretty little library we've made. What delighted me, I found this chair in the op shop for $25. and gorgeous azaleas and wattle in bloom in winter gardens. Not mine, just ones I've seen as we went walking. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.